Good morning and welcome to Carlton Cornwall Bowls for the final day of these Summerset National Singles and Pairs. And as you can see, it is a very damp morning here in Auckland. Rain has been falling for much of the night and has continued this morning, hence the delayed start to our coverage. But we are now underway in both 4 men's singles quarterfinals and 2 women's pairs semi-finals. The match we are bringing to you first up is the men's singles quarterfinal between Sheldon Bagri-Howley of Gore and Andrew Kelly of the Canterbury 2017 club. Andrew Kelly, of course, the defending champion in the men's singles. Brenton Vanessa-Roy providing the commentary alongside Kevin Hickland as always. A match that certainly, Kevin, stood out when we saw the draw for the quarterfinals.
It certainly did, Brenton. This is certainly 2 of the, let's say, all the players in the top 8 in the last 8, very, very good players, but this is certainly the game that stood out. The defending champion and current blackjack Andrew Kelly up against the very promising and well-performed Sheldon Bagri-Howley, and I'm sure that although we've got dampness on the green, which is still running at about 16 seconds, we'll see a good game as we see the very first bowl from Andrew Kelly, which confirms that, which sits just low of the jack right on the centre line. And I'm sure that we're in for a wonderful game here, and we'll also keep viewers up to date with the other quarterfinals, of course, and the semi-finals of the women's pairs, which is also underway here.
Yeah, indeed. Mike Galloway of Royal Oak up against Timothy Hook of the Takaro Club in Manawa 2. And 1 quarterfinal, Rory Soden of Mangali against Raika Gregory of Carlton Cornwall, the host club here. Finbar McGuigan of Stokes Valley against Keanu Darby of North East Valley in Dunedin. And in the women's pairs semi-finals, it's Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers up against Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the 2019 winners here. Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendrick, last year's runners-up, up against Dale Rayner, the 2017 winner, and Selena Smith, the defending champion. So really the cream has certainly risen to the top here of the women's pairs draw, that is for sure. The rain, unfortunately, just as we started the broadcast, really started coming down, and it has got heavier. Some puddles are now starting to form on the green. Let's hope that this rain does stop shortly. But as you can see, it's getting harder and harder. So while I think the green may have been running at about 15 and a half seconds, the greenkeeper, James Williams, was telling me moments ago, certainly it will be slowing down pretty quick if these puddles start to form.
Yeah, certainly will, Brenton. Of course, today here in Auckland there's no wind at all, which would normally assist in blowing some of this rain through. We're hopeful, looking at the rain radar, from that we will this will be the end of it. We are hoping, as we see Andrew Kelly pushed under that Bagri-Howley bowl, may well have made shot of it. Just got 2 turns out of the bowl. Sheldon Bagri-Howley bowl now sitting jack level. Andrew Kelly coming up to have a look, but we can but hope that this blows itself away or moves away.
Yeah, certainly the weather forecast suggesting that that will be the case, that it will be mostly fine this afternoon, but doesn't seem to be much wind out there to try and push this weather out of the way, and that's really what we need. Bit of wind, and flags here at Carlton Cornwall not moving at all. Sheldon Bagri-Howley with his last, attacking the head by the looks of it. Attacking that shot bowl, getting the jack. Wonderfully done. What a bowl that is from Sheldon Bagri-Howley. That'll be the shot.
May have made 2 of it with the bowl slightly jack low, and just perfect weight, just came through that small port and rested through on the bowls and got to the jack.
And it's interesting, despite the conditions so far in the opening end, it's been a high quality head.
Well, certainly these 2 players, very, very experienced players, and I'm sure they'll just endeavour to ignore the conditions and get on with the job at hand. And Kelly, no doubt, will endeavour to reach, I'd say, his own bowl, endeavour to get to the head with that. Here's Kelly on that backhand, a perfect delivery of Andrew Kelly's playing to get to One of the bowls gets his own, rolls that into their head,
gets
and
a bit of fortune. That might take it. Yeah, promoted his bowl into the head. After a great bowl from Sheldon Bagri-Howley with his last. He might have had it stolen from him. As it is indeed one to Andrew Kelly. The blue lollipop goes up from our marker. So 1-0. Andrew Kelly leading Sheldon Bagri-Howley in this first 221 men's singles quarterfinal here at Carlton, Cornwall, where the rain continues to come down. And obviously that's why you could see with our camera from the previous end wasn't quite down that centre line. It's to try and keep it dry. We've got umbrellas over it, but still it's had to be slightly off the centre line.
I'm sure, Brendan, we saw that shot from Sheldon Bagri-Howley and also from Andrew Kelly, and with these conditions and the slowing down of the green slightly, I'm sure we're going to see a number of those forcing shots up through the head. They can hold that narrower line, of course, and play with confidence up through to the bowls. As we see this bowl of Andrew Kelly's a very good opening bowl on this, the first end, fairly short as the length of the jack, and he sits just adjacent to the jack, just slightly jack high.
Yeah, must give the greenkeeper James Williams a lot of credit for all the work he's been doing all morning to try and get the surface up and running despite all the rain we had. It was quite heavy throughout the Auckland region.
Well, it's been persistent, as you said before, overnight. Really hasn't really let up. So it has been certainly trying conditions. Well, it's been trying conditions, of course, for the first 2 days of this event with adverse weather, and then on the last day we get greeted with this weather we've got, but we just hope that it blows away as we see Andrew Kelly now with his second bowl. Just how's the weight on it? Got the first bowl of Sheldon Bagri-Howley was very short of the jack. He'd be disappointed with that. No doubt we'll see now Sheldon Bagri-Howley from Gore will change his hand. Doesn't want to get tangled up to be able to draw cleanly down. He's trying to get past the bowl, but he's going to be under that centre line. There's not as much water coming down this way, Brenton, is there? Coming down towards the club.
That middle of the green doesn't seem too affected, does it? Obviously where they're bowling from, it does look very damp. But this middle part, you see the shot there, running quite well through there.
Great bowl here from Andrew Kelly, reaching right down past his own bowl.
And maybe that's why, level. Sorry, Kevin, maybe that's why Andrew Kelly actually chose this length, maybe, trying to get out of all the damp stuff further down the green.
Quite possibly.
And it's Bagri-Howley on the forehand. Looks like it's not going to quite have the right line. Weight near perfect though. Holding 2 indicated by a marker. Big thanks to the volunteers again today who, like the players, are going to be out there in this weather.
What is pleasing though at this point, even though it is wet and there's water on the green, Brendan, I haven't yet seen the bowls really get much that high water tail on them, so it is still running quite smoothly. It's not picking up water tails, of course, which definitely then makes a difference to the weight of the bowls or the speed of the bowls getting down towards the jack. As we see this bowl of Andrew Kelly's, but you'll see that out in front of the mat now. That's certainly puddling up. We could be on squeegee patrol, I think, in but a few moments. I look out through the door and it's certainly, there's a lot of water on that part of the green, and of course it's dangerous as well if someone slips on the mat or whatever.
Yeah, I think we're very much near that stage where we may have to halt play. It's the heaviest it's been since we've arrived at the club. I got here around 8 o'clock. It is heavier than it's been in the last 2 hours.
Oh, great attempt from Sheldon Bagri-Howley, all but sat on one of the counting bowls of Andrew Kelly's.
Yeah, it wasn't to be though, so 2 more for Andrew Kelly. Will we play on, or...?
They're looking
around at umpire. So 3-0 Andrew Kelly leading. He's put the mat down. Looks like he's going to roll out the jack for Another end. Interesting, actually. Andrew Kelly, I heard that he'd been putting his trophy on display. The men's singles champion, Andrew Kelly, from last year. There it is.
It's sitting there.
And I checked for sure, and there it was. So the men's singles trophy on display, Andrew Kelly. I don't know if that's to give him a bit of a psychological boost or to maybe intimidate his opponents, but it's great to see.
Very proud winner he was last year, Andrew Kelly, when he defeated Ryan Burnett in Christchurch and played magnificent bowls at last year's Summerset Nationals and runner-up in the pairs as well, and a deserved winner of the singles for sure.
He was in very good form yesterday as well, and post-section play, as was Sheldon Bagri-Howley, of course, all 8 quarter-finalists. Certainly earned their places here. Well, the likes of Shannon McElroy, the world champion, Mike Kernahan, of course, the multiple national singles champion, Gary Lawson, Seamus Curtin, all fell by the wayside. These 8 men here on a wet day at Carlton, Cornwall, still standing.
Good opening bowl here from Sheldon Bagri-Howley, just slides by the jack.
Slightly surprised that play is still continuing, isn't it? Because this is the most sodden the greens have been since I got here. It was better at 8:30 when we were meant to start play than it is now.
Good response from Andrew Kelly, finishing on that centre line, just though short of where the shot bowl would be, which is sitting just over jack high. Bagri-Howley now quickly into his work on the forehand. The player from the Gore Club, the Deep South, and of course part of the Gore Bowls 3-5 side. No, he's been in the team right from the first year. Brendan, is that correct?
Yeah, I think he's only missed 2 games for the Gore Rams, and that was when he was on international duty, when he ended up actually playing for the Blackjacks, but he was representing the New Zealand development team. And went on to play for the Blackjacks when...
Took Ali Forsyth's place.
Yeah, it was Ali, wasn't it, with just a minor ailment. So Sheldon Bagri-Howley stepped in to the New Zealand 4 from memory. And it was the only time he did not represent the Gore Rams. Both sitting down now, Bagri-Howley and Andrew Kelly. Is that them saying they're going to pause for a break here, or are they going to continue? Andrew Kelly, I think, might be having discussions with one of the officials.
Well, common sense would think, Brenton, that there's water puddling right out in front of the mat, and about 3 places actually on the green, and the mid part of the green now is really sodden. And I just wonder whether we just better to say, right, well, let's just have a breather, bit of a rain break, and see if this runs away. Because looking at the weather map as we did earlier on, there's every indication. And looking again at the weather map now, certainly from the western area where that adverse weather has been coming from, it seems to be clearing, and there's nothing in behind it. So
yeah, I'd hope so, but there's just no wind here.
Not a
I
breath.
think you need some wind to get rid of this, and at the moment, that weather that looks, hopefully there's nothing behind it, we need to get to that part, and at the moment it's just sticking around.
It's not moving, is it?
Andrew Kelly's made his way down the other end of the rink to speak to the umpire.
I notice on the next rink in the women's pairs, they seem to be kicking the bowls away. And just looking at Val Smith, I see just kicking a whole lot of bowls away. That, for me, tends to think that we're going to have a spell to see what this weather does over the next 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's certainly what's happening on the match there. That's women's pairs semi-final. Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the 2019 winners here at Carlton Cornwall, against Sue Curran and Paulette Kempthorne. They've had enough for the time being. Still playing out there are Rory Soden and Rika Gregory, one of the quarterfinals. Soden from Mangere and Gregory from Carlton Cornwall, and there's the bell. And that is bringing in a suspension to play here at Carlton Cornwall. And I think it might be one of these days, slightly frustrating with rain interruptions. Obviously, they got underway with the best intentions. It seemed like the worst of the weather was behind them. The green was running decent speed despite the overnight rain, but as you can see now, this is the worst it's been since I've been here at the club for the last 2.5 hours. So first play was postponed or delayed until 10:15, and now we are halting play here. Our televised game we are bringing to you here on Sky Sport Next. Men's quarter-final action between Sheldon Bagri Howley and Andrew Kelly. Andrew Kelly leading 3-0 after 2 ends in this race, 2:21. Andrew Kelly, the defending champion. Sheldon Bagri out of the Gore Club. Andrew Kelly out of Canterbury 2017. And I think it just might be one of these days. We do have a bit of time flexibility in the fact that we have just 3 rounds that we're trying to get through here in the men's singles action. Just 2 rounds in the women's pairs as well. They're at the semi-final stage already. And we just might be in for a slightly later finish than we had intended to. Obviously, for fingers crossed that this weather does clear, because we need that to clear to get back underway, Kevin.
Yeah, but Brendan, may I suggest, though, for people that are sitting there watching, if they'd like to go back onto their Sky Next YouTube channel and have a look at the game that we commentated yesterday, the visually impaired B3, B4 finals, which Steve Delaney ran out the winner, and Brenton and I did that game yesterday. And I just think it's well worth having a look at to see of the quality of what the 2 players brought to the visually impaired final.
Yeah, if you just dismissed it because you didn't know who was playing, or you thought it was going to be maybe a difficult watch, it's anything but. It was a great game of bowls. Kieran Wheeler of the Claudelands Club in Dunedin up against Steve Delaney of Stoke in Nelson. And it was a very, very good contest, as good as anything you will see. So that's good advice from Kevin Hicklin. While we wait for the rain to hopefully clear and play to get underway, let's push the back button and check out some of the other coverage we have brought to you over a week of coverage here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs.
So you'll see, you can see out there, looking out there now, the water which is covering the green right out in front of the clubhouse, and the rain is actually coming straight down. There's no sort of sideways movement of it, but like from wind. So we are going to have to wait, even though the weather map looks favourable. We're just going to have to wait till that moves its way through. But as Brenton rightly said, we've got 3 games of men's singles to get through, and only 2 games of women's pairs, and at 10:30, and let's hope we've got plenty of time in front of us throughout the day. It might be an on-off day, but let's just hope that this weather lifts and clears, and we'll be back with all of the coverage once we know what's going on.
Yeah, it's a shame because the quarterfinalists we had in store, some good quarterfinals. This was the one that we picked out and decided to bring to you here on Sky Sport Next. But Mike Galloway, already a national champion in the pairs from 2001 of the Royal Oak Club, just down the road here from Carlton Cornwall, up against Timothy Hook of Takaro and Manawatu. No doubt would have been an emotional one for the Takaro Club, coming so soon after the passing of the legendary Barry Winks, who's affiliated with that club. Roy Soden of Mangere won the Auckland Pairs last year against Riker Gregory from the host club here, Carlton Cornwall. A player that's making his return to top-level bowls after some time away. Prolific young player, won the secondary schools title in 2001, won the under-21 singles in New Zealand in 2001 and 2002. And then the final men's singles quarter-final, Finbar McGuigan of Stokes Valley, who is arguably the form player in New Zealand right now. Obviously unbeaten through bowls 3-5 to help the Stokes Valley Vipers to that title. And he won the Wellington pairs and fours this season. And he won the under-26 singles last year. Very much informed player, taking on Keanu Darby of North East Valley in Dunedin. Another one who's won the secondary schools title. He won that in 2014. I think Andrew Kelly also won the secondary schools title. So you got 3 secondary schools past champions in the last 8 of the men's singles. And then really a who's who in the women's pairs semi-final as well, when you've got the defending champ, Selena Smith, her partner from last year, Caitlin Inch, not here, but her new partner is the 2017 winner, Dale Rayner, Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce, who are runners-up to Smith and Inch last year. They're playing them in a semi-final. And then you've got 2019 winners from Carlton Cornwall, Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux. Val Smith, of course, 3-time champion in the women's pairs, up against Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers, the only non-composite pairing remaining. They were perhaps the surprise package to get through to the semi-final stage, but certainly have earned their place here. So it's a shame that this weather has disrupted things. It certainly is lighter than it was, we can report, but still puddles on the green in front of us, and the B green, which is being used for all 6 of these games here in post section, the 4 men's singles quarterfinals and the 2 women's pairs semi-finals.
So we're at least 30 minutes, I'd say, Brendan, by the time that even that rain was to stop now, to squeegee that off and just give it a break for a couple of minutes. But as you rightly say, we've got time on our hands, and with 3 rounds of men's singles, and to be fair, they are not long games really with the men's singles. The players themselves are very sort of quick in their play, so it's not an issue there. And of course, only 2 rounds of the women's.
It's a really young field, isn't it, really, in the men's singles quarterfinals when you look at it. Mike Galloway, really the senior statesman.
Well, he would be the oldest in there.
I don't know how old Timothy Hook is. He's the only one I don't know, but the rest of them are in their 20s, early 30s. All of them are, absolutely. And when you're talking about Finbar McGuigan, just in his 20s.
Yes, that's correct.
So it's a pretty young men's singles quarter-final lineup, and that usually means that they play quite quickly. Anyway, the younger players traditionally do. And so, yeah, we do have that time, which is a good thing, as the rain again starts to bucket down here, unfortunately, at Carlton Cornwall. So just going to have to be patient, I think we all are, as we hope for a change in the weather. And as Kevin has mentioned, that weather forecast does look good, the rain radar does look good, but there's just no wind to get rid of what is currently hanging over the club here. It wouldn't surprise me, Kevin, if it's one of these Auckland days where some parts of Auckland aren't getting this.
Oh, absolutely. I had a call earlier on, about an hour ago, and wherever that particular person was, there was no rain at all. But we had that the first 2 days as well, didn't we? Because we had greens, in fact, that were washed out, but greens that were uninterrupted. So it's one of those things, just a matter of where it decides to deposit itself. But the biggest problem is, the issue really is, there's no wind whatsoever. If we look out in front of us now towards Alexandra Park, those trees aren't moving at all, are they? So there's no wind there at all to help to assist in trying to blow this away. So we are in the lap of the weather gods, and we can but hope that it sorts itself out.
Yeah, the good thing is in bowls we can play with rain. Just when it gets too heavy, when it causes the surface flooding, is when we do have to stop. So as long as it stops for a moment to allow us to clear the greens again, get the squeegees out, get the surface water off the green, it won't be that long before we can get play back underway again.
Well, the other good thing, Brendan, with the Maniapoto Cotula greens, they do drain very, very quickly. And whereas in the past days on the grass greens where you'd have weather like this and it would slow the speed of the greens down dramatically, we don't have that with the Maniotato Kochler hybrid. The speed will still hold itself because the weed, the top of the weed flattens out, and so it holds its pace fairly well, even with rain. So when they do come back out to play, they certainly won't be on. The greens certainly won't be running as quick, but they won't be really heavy like the old grass greens. With this amount of rain, which would be at about 8 seconds, they'll still be up around. These greens here will still be around the 15-second mark, which still makes itself very, very good competitive bowls.
I hope you're enjoying our new graphic just as much as we are. Just created while this has all been happening behind us.
Well done. Lovely graphics by the Aaron and Tamara, the production people behind us, who are they're the brains, they're the workers behind all of this.
Certainly better than I could have done on Microsoft Paint.
Yeah,
that's probably would have been the extent of my graphic knowledge. So pretty impressive. Unfortunately for us, though, that graphic seems to suggest that the rain's going slightly on an angle. We need that wind. We need that wind.
Yeah, so just
to push away our rain, because it's coming straight down here.
So Aaron and Tamara, just that wonderful graphic that they've just done. The rain should just be up and down because there's no sideways movement at all. But it's very well done. Disappointing for the crowd that's in here, Brendan, because we've got a good crowd in around the clubhouse to watch this final day. But let's hope that we're 11 now. Let's hope by just after, let's say 12 o'clock, hopefully. And you're right, the sky's lightened up a bit, but of course it did that before as well. But we just hope that it moves on.
Yeah, just need that wind to get rid of this. Hopefully it does. So we'll give you a bit of a break from our voices and just stay with us here. When play does get underway, we'll be back with you to bring you commentary of what is the men's singles quarter-final between Andrew Kelly and Sheldon Bagri-Howley. It was Andrew Kelly who picked up 3 on the first couple of ends to lead Sheldon Bagri-Howley of Gore 3-0.
45 minutes will be right. Well, I'm hoping. I know, mate, I know. And you know, just that baby throughout the whole. Yeah. And I've got the same for them, right? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I have. I've been before. He was amazing.
Livy. Yeah, Liv. Come on, Liv. Teamwork, Liv.
guard for up. They can go when you're ready. When you're ready, Gerald and Andrew. Broadcast are ready for you. Whenever it's close.
See that stuff up there? It's Oamaru blue.
Good afternoon and a warm welcome back to Carlton Cornwall Bowls in Auckland, where you can see we are back underway in men's singles quarterfinal action on the final day of these Summerset National singles and pairs. Sheldon Baggery Howley picking up a 1 on the third end of this contest right in front of us. 4 quarterfinals taking place in the men's singles here at Carlton Cornwall. 2 women's pairs semi-finals. We are all back underway and the rain has stopped finally. Obviously took a bit longer to clear that bad weather in the area, and also there are a few segments of blue sky, which is great to see. Fingers crossed we will be all good now through until the end of these Summerset Nationals. Brenton Vannisselroy alongside Kevin Hickland to call this one for you, and we got a bit of a taster before the heavy rain really set in, Kevin, but this is a match that should live up to its billing.
Certainly should do, Brenton. 2 very, very good players. Of course, Andrew Kelly, the defending champion and current blackjack, up against the very, very top-class Gore player, Sheldon Baggery Howley. And we know that both of these players, very, very good draw players and good on the attack. And I'm sure in this race to 21, in this quarter-final, we're in for a really top-class game.
Yeah, certainly are. So the first couple of ends played an increasingly torrential rain. As now the rain has stopped. The greenkeeper, James Williams, and all his team of volunteers here at the Carlton Cornwall Club doing a great job with all the squeegees to get the water off the playing surface. And it looked to be running still at a pretty decent speed when he rolled a few down to the greenkeeper, James Williams.
Yeah, certainly. If you look at the bowl breaking into the head now, Brenton, it's certainly not pulling up very quickly because of the damp conditions. It's holding it, they're running smoothly, and hopefully if we get some sun come out, it'll quickly speed this green up, which I'm picking to be running now around 15 seconds, and still a very, very good speed really for a good quality of game, and the greens, I'm sure, as they've been right throughout this event, will be of the best standard. As we see now, Andrew Kelly just drawing him behind the jack, coming right back to the centre line, holding the shot.
Now he's found the line well with the slightly slower greens today. Certainly slower than what they've run the last few days when we've had beautiful weather in Auckland. Of course, wasn't the case for the first 2 days of these Summerset Nationals. And hopefully we've seen the last of it. Good reply by Sheldon Baggery Howley. Unfortunate that he's just landed on the wrong side of the previous bowl of Andrew Kelly. So Kelly holding 1.
Just fell on the outside of what is the shot bowl. Kelly, of course, last year defeating Ryan Burnett in the final of the Summerset National Singles in Christchurch. And he's looking very closely at this bowl as it breaks in towards the head. Is Andrew Kelly from Canterbury. Not going to have enough weight though. Certainly on a good line to the jack. Definitely holding 1 shot as Baggery Howley makes his way back to the mat to play his last bowl. And really, as you rightly said, Brendan, the greenkeeper and the other people here, the volunteers, helpers, done a magnificent job. And the green really, it can see some dampness on the top of it, but really it's just pretty much normal.
Well, that's quite incredible. Obviously, a number of you were watching throughout our rain delay. Might have found the rain nice and relaxing to view. Might have enjoyed the rubber duckies, which made their way onto the green. I can report that rubber duckies have found a new home. They've been rescued. And so they are safe and sound now, made a home on green number C, letter C, right next to us. So nothing to be concerned about.
Very much at home out there, aren't they?
Yeah, we have to keep ourselves amused some way amongst the rain delay.
So Sheldon Baggery Howley with his last bowl just slipped by on the head, and it will be Andrew Kelly still holding 1 shot, trying to endeavour to add on the backhand is Andrew Kelly. Very determined, deliberate player is Andrew Kelly, and certainly had a stellar year last year on the greens, New Zealand, and runs into his own. You'll knock the set, not enough weight though to turn the other bowl over for another counter. One I wouldn't think. We'll wait till the marker indicates.
Confirmed. Yeah, one more to Andrew Kelly. So 4-1 now leading Sheldon Bagri Howley in this race to 21. I'll peer out the window and see if I can pick up what is happening in the other men's quarterfinals. I'm pretty sure it's on the far rink, which is rink number 1, is the quarterfinal between Finbar McGuigan and Keanu Darby. And it looks like McGuigan is leading 7-3 in that contest. The board is being updated in the Rory Soden Riker Gregory match to Carlton Cornwall players. But we'll have a score update. Looks like 7 apiece in that one, so the two Carlton Cornwall players can't be separated. And Timothy Hook is leading Mike Galloway 4-2. The Takaro player from the Manawa 2 up against Mike Galloway of Royal Oak here in Auckland. And we also have 2 women's pairs semi-finals taking place as well. That is on the rinks alongside our TV rink here. And it is Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers up against Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the composite pairing, the 2019 winners here at Carlton Cornwall. And it looks like it is Smith and Prideaux are leading 2-1 after 2 of the 18 ends there. And in the other semi-final, Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra, last year's runners-up in Christchurch, taking on Dale Rayner, the 2017 winner, and Selena Smith, the defending champion. And that board is currently being updated and is obstructed at the moment, but we'll give you a score update of that one shortly. I think they're at a similar stage after just 2 or 3 ends. But great to see play back underway, and it is, in fact, Hendra and Bruce who are leading Rayner and Smith 2-0 after 2 of the 18 ends there. So we'll keep you up to date with those other 3 men's singles quarterfinals and the women's pairs semi-finals throughout this contest here, which is our focus. Certainly the feature men's singles quarterfinal, the defending champ Andrew Kelly up against Sheldon Bagri Howley. And if you weren't with our coverage at the start of proceedings today, Andrew Kelly has his trophy, men's singles trophy, on the green behind him. You can see just this little slice of it on the right hand screen there. I don't know if it's to motivate him or to slightly intimidate the opposition, but he's had it throughout post-section play at the least, and good to see it there as well, proudly presenting that men's singles trophy, which he won at the Papanui Club down in Christchurch 12 months ago. And it's a very good third bowl from Kelly. It's hard to tell from our angle whether it's been enough to grab shot. Bagri Howley looks to be playing with a bit of extra weight, which would perhaps suggest that he was down on the head. Yeah, Kelly holding. Here's our marker.
That weight certainly determined that. And that was a great bowl from Andrew Kelly, because Sheldon Bagri Howley had drawn just down, just lower the jack, only say a foot in front of the jack, and Andrew Kelly on his backhand drew the shot, and Bagri Howley endeavouring with his bowl to his third bowl to turn the bowl through the head. Now Andrew Kelly again on his backhand, now in the shirt sleeves, taking off all the heavy gear. And it's a promising sign as we see this bowl of Andrew Kelly's go by the head down towards where that Sheldon Bagri Howley bowl is, mixing those 2 bowls up. He won't be too concerned about that, because the trail of the jack moves with that weight. He's got a bowl over the head if the jack moves into that vicinity.
Oh, it really is warming up here, isn't it? Yeah, the sun has come out for the first time today, and so no surprises that the jackets are off. The weather gear is coming off on all the rinks, really. Doesn't look like that's going to change the situation. So another 1 to Andrew Kelly, 5-1. He now leads Sheldon Bagri Howley. And that rain delay, I was actually, Kevin, looking through how everyone fared in post-section play just to try and rejig the memory. And Andrew Kelly didn't have it all his own way, did he, in post-section play? A number of tight matches, which went right down to the wire. First round, of course, at Lance Pascoe, the Peers champion, 21-18, I think it was, from memory. And I think the next 2 rounds, he only just won as well, before quite a convincing victory in the round of 16.
he's had a very tough draw right throughout in the singles, actually, Andrew Kelly, because his singles draw as well was one of those real testy sections. Brett O'Reilly, I know, was in there, of course, former runner-up to Peter Bellis in the singles a number of years back, and some other very, very handy players in there as well. And then Lance Pascoe, of course, in that first round of both section, and Kelly running out the winner by 21 shots to 19. And he had a hard day at the office yesterday, Andrew Kelly, and came through unscathed, obviously, here in the last eight, and continuing that good form that we know that Andrew Kelly brings in singles.
Yeah, the only remaining blackjack in the men's squad, men's side of thing, we've got 4 of the blackjacks women's squad in contention in the women's pairs, which is great to see. Val Smith, Taylor Bruce, Claire Hendra and Selena Smith, and Lisa Prideaux, part of that emerging talent squad as well. So nearly all of those with national honours have made it, or international honours have made it this far. Debbie White, one of the omissions there. She's in the blackjack squad, but was eliminated early in post-section play in the women's singles. Of course, she was champion, Debbie White, of the women's singles in 2019 here at Carlton Cornwall. Also eliminated with Ashley Jeffcoat in section play of the pairs.
So Sheldon Bagri-Howley just gets a touch on the Andrew Kelly bowl. Gets another good roll on it. With that shot or not, I'm not sure. We're seeing Andrew Kelly now go back to his forehand, playing down towards the clubhouse here at the Carlton Cornwall Club. Sort of nestled in the park area here, right by Alexander Park, and this bowl of Andrew Kelly's weight's pretty good. Looks though just on that wider side, in and around the head, and it's the indication from the marker was that it was 1-2
Bagri-Howley.
Howley. That is the multicoloured bolt that you can see in the front of the head there.
Yeah, when it's sitting down, sometimes it just appears white, doesn't it? Because you don't see the purple or violet colour coming through there. And here he is with his third bowl.
Sunglasses on.
Another good sign for us here at Carlton Cornwall after a weather-affected start. Everything's just going to be pushed back. Still plenty of time though.
Good bowl here from Bagri-Howley. Just comes right back to the centre line. Sits just in front of the jack. You'd be delighted with that. Definitely holding 2 shots as indicated there by the marker with the red lollipops you'd see just go up there.
Yes, so now Andrew Kelly play his last. Bagri-Howley still one to play. Andrew Kelly, important early bowl this, or otherwise Bagri-Howley could potentially grabbing 3 shots and eating into this early lead that Kelly's built.
I'm sure we'll see Andrew Kelly endeavouring to follow that backhand line of Sheldon Bagri-Howley's to get down to bowl or jack. It's close, this bowl. You're going to get the jack or the bowl. He was desperately unlucky then. Could have got the jack just around the corner. He's only half a bowl out from getting what I'd call the perfect result.
Yeah, may not have changed the situation too. May have just got second shot, but you think the way that slid through the head, very unfortunate not to trail the jack back or knock away the shot bowl. Instead, he got the jack, but not enough of it. And now Bagri-Howley, an opportunity, I think, to make this 3 here, if he can try and emulate his third bowl.
And this is on a good line. Going to sit on his own bowl or run all the way across. Not sure how far it's going to go. And
it's check level. It might be good enough for a third. 1 taken away. Is it just the 1, or is it? I think it's more than 1. It's 3. It is 3. 3 red lollipops go up, and for Sheldon Bagri-Howley. So big end, the 6th end for the challenger here. Andrew Kelly, the defending champion in the men's singles. 5-4 he now leads. Sheldon Bagri-Howley out of Gore. Andrew Kelly, the Canterbury 2017 club, in Christchurch.
So that last bowl of Andrew Kelly's had perfect weight to endeavour to roll through the bowl or to the jack and just got the target area, but just slipped by. And Sheldon Bagri-Howley certainly capitalised straight away by adding another bowl to the count.
Yeah, Kelly won't be disappointed with his final bowl at all. But credit to Bagri-Howley. Kelly missed, Bagri-Howley didn't.
Kelly now, after Bagri-Howley's first bowl, is a good couple of metres short on that forehand side. Kelly endeavouring to get past that bowl and draw down to the centre line of the jack. How far is this going to come back as it's moving now towards the centre line? This is going to be pretty adjacent. How far is it going to run? It's a good opening bowl from Andrew Kelly. The bowl just falls over, sits jack high, just in behind the jack. He'll be happy with that opening bowl after dropping that 3 the last end. Bagri-Howley endeavouring to improve. Doesn't look though that's going to happen. He's going to run into his own front bowl, but of course in doing so has left that draw now. Brenton completely open on the draw now. It's on that forehand side. There's no hindrance there, nothing to run into.
Just giving you an update from the other boards on the men's singles quarterfinals. Looks like a bit of a comeback from Keanu Darby, just one shot in that now, and it is Finbar McGuigan leading Keanu Darby 8-7. McGuigan out of Stokes Valley, of course, in the hut, while out of Dunedin's North East Valley Club is Darby. And then you've got the meeting of the two Carlton Cornwall players, Rory Soden and Riker Gregory. That board currently obstructed. And then it is the last remaining quarter-final, Mike Galloway of Royal Oak and Timothy Hook of Takaro. And that one currently going the way of Hook, who is leading 5-3 in the race to 21.
Now, big chance here now for Andrew Kelly with his third bowl. Sheldon Bagri-Howley has played 3 of his 4 and has certainly been off target with the draw. And here we see this bowl of Andrew Kelly's now just nestling into the jack, and is sitting behind, is going to fall onto the jack. Is Bagri-Howley now going to go on the attack? I'm picking that he will try and drive underneath this front bowl and try and get down to the jack. Definitely 3 down. On the drive is Sheldon Bagri-Howley trying to get to the front bowl. Got the very front bowl of Andrew Kelly's, which was counting. Still though laying 2 for Andrew Kelly, and great opportunity here for the defending singles champion to add another one. That 3 back straight away that he dropped on the previous end.
Well, Bagri-Howley was able to execute it when Kelly had a bit of misfortune. Now can Kelly do the same to Bagri-Howley, as Bagri-Howley wasn't far away there from getting a cleaner connection on that front bowl and running into the other Kelly bowls and taking them all out of the head. But all he could do was remove the front one. So now Andrew Kelly has got a lot of space to draw a third. Player of his calibre should be a relatively easy task, and he's going to do more than just draw it to a couple of metres. He's going to put it within a metre, and that's the third to Andrew Kelly. So he restores that 4-shot advantage, 8-4. He now leads Sheldon Bagri-Howley. Kelly, the defending champion, also a 2-time winner of the 4s Summerset Nationals in 2012 and 2014. Going for his 4th national title. Of course, Sheldon Bagri-Howley also won his first national title last year in the 4s. Gary Lawson's 4 at Mount Maunganui.
The big thing now for Sheldon Bagri-Howley, just put that in behind you now. It's happened, and just come, get back into your work again, because he certainly had 3 bowls on the draw, which he'd have been very disappointed in. And Andrew Kelly, you'll see the opportunity now, just continue with that consistent draw, which we know Andrew Kelly has certainly got. As we watch this bowl now coming back towards the centre line from Kelly. This is a good opening bowl as well. He's going to get back just to the centre line. Well, only half a metre, falls over. Good start though.
Yeah, given that A couple of the boards are obstructed. I might actually make my way over to the big green myself to make sure I give you accurate updates from the other 3 men's singles quarterfinals and the 2 women's pairs semi-finals. That one just goes through the head, so at the end of this end I'll make my way around the boards. There's Val Smith in the background there, was just updating her semi-final. Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux against Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers.
Andrew Kelly second, short with his second bowl. Sheldon Bagley Howley now with the opportunity to draw to that bowl behind the jack of Andrew Kelly's. This is on a good line, this bowl of Sheldon Bagley Howley's. Is going to run all the way into the centre line, pulls up slightly short, not sure.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from our angle whether that's shot or not. It doesn't look like there's much between those 2 bowls. Andrew Kelly bowl and Bagley Howley's second. Now Andrew Kelly was his third, was well short with his second attempt.
And he's staying on that side, won't want to turn that bowl over of Sheldon Bagley Howley's. In fact, draws onto his own bowl, turns it over his bowl on the centre line. Bagley Howley will follow that backhand draw of Andrew Kelly's, certainly on a tighter line. Is it going to get to the jack? Won't want to get the back of the jack. In fact, gets the jack clean. Well played by Sheldon Bagley Howley.
Oh, that makes 2 of it. Very good bowl from the Gore player. So, I wasn't sure if he had shot or not from our perspective, and he's made sure of it. He certainly has shot now. In fact, he's got a couple.
I think we'll see now. Andrew Kelly, I'm sure he's going to play down with weight. I'm sure you'll see Kelly looking to endeavour to get the jack and take it into the ditch behind. Certainly set up for that sort of shot. We'll see if that Andrew Kelly elects to play that or changes hand to the forehand. So he's going to the forehand, and one would think he's going to reach that with some weight, and he certainly is endeavouring to try and get to the jack in the ditch. It's on its way, going to go by though.
Yeah, missed the target by about half a foot. And now, just like we had the last 2 ends, the player with the last bowl has a chance to make it 3.
So that going backwards and forwards on the scoreboard. 2 threes in a row we've seen. 3 to Sheldon Bagley Howley on the 6th end, and then on the 7th we saw Andrew Kelly respond with a 3, and can now Sheldon Bagley Howley grab those 3 shots back.
Unfortunate for him, I think. Gave it too much weight, so that's not going to change the situation, but it is 2 for Sheldon Bagley Howley. So cuts Kelly's lead to 2. 8-6. Andrew Kelly now leading Sheldon Bagley Howley in this race to 21 men's singles quarterfinal. I'll leave you in the hands of Kevin Hicklin as I make my way around the boards in the remaining 3 quarterfinals and the 2 women's pairs semi-finals.
Sheldon Bagley Howley delivered the jack down towards the Alexandra Park end here at Carlton Cornwall Club. It's delivered right to the 2 metre mark. In fact, jack on the 2 metre mark, the mat up about a metre from that 2 metre mark, so it's pretty well length head as we see Sheldon Bagley Howley from the Gore Club. It's on a good line, this bowl, as it breaks towards the jack and is going to sit right alongside the jack, just centimetres lower the jack. Very, very good opening bowl by the Gore player. As Andrew Kelly seems to have disappeared. I presume he'll be back, and you can see the Sheldon Bagley Howley bowl just then fall over in front of the jack. Great to see TV1 here again today. And Michelle Prendeville taking some news clips and interviewing the greenkeeper at present, James William, is having a trying, certainly had a trying day here today as we just await for Andrew Kelly to make his way back out here. So after this match is completed, this men's quarter-final, we'll be bringing you the final of the women's pairs. Those semi-finals are underway out here now in front of us, along with the other 3 quarter-finals of the men's singles, and after the women's pairs final, we'll bring you the final of the men's singles. So here is now Andrew Kelly. He's on the mat, on his forehand, playing up towards Alexandra Park end, leading 8-6 in the race to 21 with a very, very good opening bowl from Sheldon Bagri-Harley. So watch this bowl of Andrew Kelly's now breaking in towards the jack. Is it going to get all the way? Just going to die on weight. Misses the weight by round about a metre. Was certainly on a good line. Bagri-Harley quickly into his work on the backhand, holding the shot. Scored a 2 on the previous end. And sits again right on top of his first bowl, and right in line with that centre line. And of course, Andrew Kelly can't see very much of the jack from where his position on the mat. He'll again come on that forehand side, he may endeavour to get himself bowled in behind the head here, which is past the 2 metre mark, which this bowl will just finish virtually level with the 2 metre line. If he played behind the mat, then he had the opportunity to attack the head possibly with his third bowl. But Sheldon Bagri-Harley certainly opened up here on this end with 2 magnificent bowls, and Bagri-Harley now, he's going to go in behind down towards the ditch end here. Get as far back as he possibly can. You'll see it sitting there because if the jack gets moved into the ditch, Sheldon Bagri-Harley now has got that back bowl sitting right underneath the number 6. Here's Kelly now with his third. Needs to bring that line in slightly so as he can get down to the jack, 2 down on the head. And it's going to stay on that wider side. How far will it come back to the centre line? And really, he wanted another metre of weight ideally on that bowl, did Andrew Kelly. So another good hit here from Sheldon Bagri-Harley, and Brenton just back from around the various rinks, and he can update you on those 3 other quarterfinals and the semi-finals of the women's pairs.
Yeah, certainly can. Mike Galloway of Royal Oak leading Timothy Hook of Takaro 9-5 in his men's singles quarter-final. Rory Soden leading Riker Gregory 12-8. Both players out of the Carlton Cornwall Club. Finbar McGuigan is trailing now Keanu Darby of North East Valley 10-8. McGuigan out of Stokes Valley. And in the 2 women's pairs semi-finals, it is Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the 2019 winners, who are leading Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers 3-2 after 5 of the 18 ends. And it is Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra who are leading Dale Rayner and Selena Smith 3-1 after 4.
A big bowl here now for Andrew Kelly, leading 8-6, but definitely 3 down. Sheldon Bagri-Harley has 3 bowls, very close in around the jack. Will Kelly drive and try and remove all 3 and get the jack? Remember, of course, Sheldon Bagri-Harley does have a bowl sitting underneath the marker peg, the number 6 sitting there. So here is now Andrew Kelly. He's playing certainly with reaching weight down on that forehand side, trying to get down towards the jack. Need to get it off this front bowl. Misses.
2 ends in a row now where Andrew Kelly has played those weighted bowls and found the gap. And so 3 more to Sheldon Bagri-Harley, who now takes the lead in this men's singles quarter-final here at Carlton Cornwall. 9-8. Sheldon Bagri-Harley out of Gore leading Andrew Kelly, the defending champion of the Canterbury 2017 club.
Look at this magnificent weather.
You would not know, just what, an hour ago, this green was pretty much flooded.
And look, the ducks are nearly marooned out there now. They've nearly run out of water.
Yeah, that's actually quite sad.
That's
story of the Auckland drought, isn't it?
It's an animal welfare issue out there in front of us. It'll be the two ducks are struggling out there.
I need to be rescued for a second time.
So here's his first bowl of Sheldon Baggy-Howley. Certainly been impressive the last two ends as the Gore player, putting the pressure right on the defending New Zealand singles player and current blackjack. Andrew Kelly on that draw line now, coming back to the centre line. This looks a pretty good bowl from Kelly. Gets a touch on the jack. Just moves it slightly off the centre line. Sits alongside it. You'd be happy with that.
Yeah, there's very few signs now of the water that was sitting on the screen really just minutes ago, before you were still getting a bit of the footprints, but I don't think so anymore. As Bagry-Howley's missed with his first two.
It's gone past with an extra yard of weight. Andrew Kelly now on the forehand will certainly be wanting to put the pressure straight back on Sheldon Bagry-Howley after dropping 5 shots in the last two ends, and this bowl's tracking down towards that centre line, and the jack is going to get the jack around the corner.
Oh, lovely bowl.
The jack, only problem with that, just leaves now. Sheldon Bagry-Howley will certainly attack or play with weight to reach the bowls, because he's got the two back bowls sitting right down under the number 6 there.
You can see his last bowl is still in play, so just didn't go into the ditch. Attacking the head here is Bagry-Howley, and he knocks away one of the bowls, but it'll still remain a counter.
Well, Andrew Kelly would be happy with that result. It just sort of reduced the target, so to speak, for Sheldon Bagry-Howley to attack the jack.
Yeah, unfortunately for Bagry-Howley, got on the wrong side of it. Didn't need to get on the inside of that one, and hopefully come off that, either hit the other or get the jack.
The cover going in, and Devon cover here from Andrew Kelly to try and nestle in amongst those 3 back bowls of Sheldon Bagry-Howley. So what is he going to play here? Is he going to play the drive to the 2 bowls, or to get the jack in the ditch? I'm picking
Jack in the ditch.
I'm picking jack in the ditch will be the shot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Unfortunately for Kelly, he hasn't really got that covering bowl in there that he wanted. Needed really another metre of weight to get to those back bowls. So Bagry-Howley with his last.
Looking closely, what shot am I going to play? You'll know if Bagry-Howley's close. He's certainly not a very colourful player as Bagry-Howley. He's down on his haunches looking to get to the jack or the bowl, and he gets the jack, and more than likely still 2 down.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. Maybe
could be one.
Just one. Hard to tell from that angle, of course. Camera's just from the back of the green. You can see the camera with the little umbrella over the top of it.
Gone to the marker. Now it looks different from where we're sitting here, Brenton.
He'll give us an indication, will he? No, the hands remaining in the pockets.
You can see that New Zealand trophy sitting there.
In that previous shot.
So Andrew Kelly will certainly want to endeavour to get another counting bowl in here. Bagry-Howley unlucky really with that bowl. Andrew Kelly drops the head and drops the rag. I don't know whether that was a sign that I'm not happy with this. Looks to have a bit of weight on. So he's going to sit on the Bagry-Howley bowl. If he sits on the bowl, well, that will count.
That should count. So that held up. We'll wait and see what the marker says. Andrew Kelly's looking over this. Nothing's that close. He's confident he's got the shot. And just one. So really, it must have just been that final bowl which got it for Andrew Kelly, we think. So we're all tied up now, 9 apiece in this first 221 men's singles quarter-final at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs at Carlton Cornwall. Today, the final day of the tournament. We will crown champions in the women's pairs and the men's singles today. We have the two women's pairs semi-finals taking place on the rinks alongside us. And it is Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers who are leading Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux 4-3 after 5 of the 18 ends. And in the other contest, it is now Dale Rayner and Selena Smith who are leading last year's runners-up, Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra. 4-3, I think it is. 4-3 after 6 of the 18 ends. Unfortunately, just had a few people move in front of the boards. And I'll make my way out in a few ends time and bring you up to date with the men's singles quarterfinal action. And there's people around the boards. It's because there's quite a few fans here, which is good to see, undeterred by the wet start to proceedings here. As you can see, a number of them just here in the clubhouse at Carlton Cornwall and spotted all around the green. All 6 of our post-section matches taking place here on the B green at Carlton Cornwall.
So Sheldon Bagley-Howley holding shot with his first bowl, and Andrew Kelly with his second. Just sat outside the bowl. You can see the striped effect bowl of the young Gore players. This second bowl breaks down towards the jack, and this is going to get a touch on the jack. This is a good bowl. Sits just alongside it. So certainly we're seeing this change around, end by end, well, bowl by bowl actually. It's
what we expected as well.
Oh,
Two very good players. Kelly, of course, the defending champ, and Sheldon Bagley-Howley.
How's the weight on this bowl? Is it going to get all the way up? No, it's not. Just sits inside, but will be second shot.
Represented the Blackjacks at Trans-Tasman at the end of 2019. He's had a taste of top-level play, which Andrew Kelly obviously has had plenty of.
And this bowl, Sheldon Bagley-Howley, is just going to go by a couple of metres. And you'll see the marker indicating that it is 1 to the Gore player, and all locked up at 9 all in this race 2-21.
Andrew Kelly well and truly cementing himself in that Blackjack squad last season, didn't he? With his performances down at the Papanui Club in Christchurch, where he took home the national singles title, which he's proudly got on display at the back of the rink here. And also runner-up in the pairs, following on from some good performances for the Blackjacks. Sheldon Bagley-Howley's knocking on the door of that squad as well. He's part of the emerging talent group, which sits just under the Blackjack squad.
So the bolt of Andrew Kelly's just goes by on the draw. Sheldon Bagley-Howley now endeavouring to draw a second shot. Definitely holding 1. Has it got all the way to get to the weight to the bowl? It has. This is well played by the Gore player, and that'll be 2. And that'll take him to an 11-9 lead.
Yeah, it certainly does. There are the much talked about rubber ducks. If you had no idea what we're going on about, for those who stayed with us throughout the rain delay, we got some rubber ducks from the greenkeeper, James Williams, and to entertain ourselves here is the green that we're now playing on. It's pretty much flooded, and there's still, as you can see, a bit of sitting water on the green in front of our commentary position here. Green C.
And that jack has been delivered by Sheldon Bagley-Howley right down to the 2 metre mark. You can see it sitting there on the tee as he watches first bowl. Coming down towards that centre line. It's going to finish on the centre line, lower the jack by a couple of feet. But certainly, these guys are certainly very capable on the draw. Plenty of room here for Andrew Kelly, the defending singles champion. Of course, last year as well, Brenton won the part of the triple side with Ellie Forsyth and Krista Lee, won the multi-nations event in Australia. So certainly had a good year, did Andrew Kelly. And the birth of his first child, little girl.
Yeah, I think you were telling me off air as well, little girl started walking
Yes,
since he's been up here at the
yeah.
Summerset Nationals.
Correct, Brendan. Yeah, Andrew was telling me earlier on. The little one started walking. So here now is Sheldon Bagri-Harley, a wee bit wider on the line, which is what he wants to try and get back to that centre line, and we'll go by about a metre, but certainly right on that centre line.
So obviously Andrew Kelly having to make a few sacrifices to defend his men's singles title, missing special moments like those back home.
And here is Kelly again. Just question how that weight's going to be. It has to, might sit inside the second Sheldon Bagri-Harley bowl. No, it does. Sits on it, but just goes by. So Sheldon Bagri-Harley, two very good bowls to start this end.
Another opportunity.
Yeah, leading 11-9.
Like I mentioned earlier though, Andrew Kelly has been in this position a lot at this tournament. A number of very close contests that have gone all the way to the wire. Won 3 of his 4 yesterday by 3 or fewer shots.
So Andrew Kelly now on his forehand with his third bowl. You can see there the Sheldon Bagri-Harley bowls, one in front, one right in behind on the centre line. He's watching closely as this bowl is Kelly as it breaks now. How's the weight? Looks as though it's going to be a wee bit quick, and it is. Oh, this becomes a big end now, Brenton.
It certainly does. Holding 3 at the market. Showing. It's quite clear to see because all the Andrew Kelly bowls behind those of Bagri-Harley, all in a line there on that shot. Kelly with one more opportunity after this from Bagri-Harley.
Well, Sheldon Bagri-Harley can draw with confidence to the head. There's no danger there for him at all, and he's certainly on that good drawing line as it makes its way now towards the head. Just needs to get past this front bolt, and it will, and is going to draw right down towards the jack. There's 3 bowls sitting right on the centre line and 1 just off the centre line.
And he's holding 4.
Definitely holding 4 shots, and to me the big objective here for Andrew Kelly is second shot's a good shot here on that, following the Sheldon Bagri-Harley bowl, and trying to rest on that back bowl would just about give Kelly second shot.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed. He's dropped already a couple of 3s as Andrew Kelly. Certainly doesn't want to be dropping a 4 here. So what has he got? Final bowl of the 12th end.
It's on that good line.
Can he draw inside?
It's on a good line.
Bagri-Harley bowls. Well, this is close.
It's on a good line.
Oh, this has he not just drawn second? He's drawn the shot. He's drawn a toucher. What a bowl that is from Andrew Kelly. Bagri-Harley holding 4, and Andrew Kelly snatches the mat off him. And I think there's a great bit of sportsmanship there. I think you can see Bagri-Harley saying, "Shot, mate," because that was certainly a very good bowl. Bagri-Harley did all he could, and Andrew Kelly was just that tiny little bit better to pick up another single.
Well, a front toucher, wasn't it? Just drew right on top of the jack, and magnificently played by the blackjack and defending champion Andrew Kelly, who started his bowls, of course, in Oamaru.
So 11-10 now. The score, Sheldon Bagri-Harley leading Andrew Kelly. Of course, have 3 other men's singles quarterfinals ongoing here at Carlton Corner as well as our 2 women's pairs semi-finals. And it's Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers who are leading. Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the 2019 winners, 5-3 after 6 ends. And it's a very tight start, and it's 4 apiece between Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra, who were beaten finalists last year, and Dale Rayner, the 2017 winner, in her lead, Selena Smith, who was the defending champion.
So the first bowl of Andrew Kelly's sits jack level. You can see the jack there sitting right on the 2 metre mark. And the Andrew Kelly bolt sitting jack level. And the first bowler, Sheldon Bagley Howley's just a wee bit short of the line. Kelly now again on his backhand, playing up towards the Alexandra Park end. Looks to be narrow on the centre line. How far is it going to run? Looks to have a wee bit of weight on. Is he going to sit on the bowl, get a bit of... no, he didn't. Sat outside the bowl.
It wasn't far away there on the inside. That would have been second shot. Falls the wrong side from Andrew Kelly's perspective. Now Bagri Howley with his second on the backhand side. Is it going to hold its line or come under and find a similar home to his first? It falls just in front of his first effort.
Andrew Kelly will be wanting to finish on that other side of the... sit on the backhand side of the line. Yeah, all the other bowls, of course, have just slipped away, and Kelly will be desperate, and he's certainly on that wider line, Brenton, that we spoke about, so as he can get back to the centre line, and that's exactly what is going to happen. But how far short is that of the head? That won't...
Yeah, that won't change the situation here. Yeah, Andrew Kelly signalling one. Confirmed by the marker, the one down signal to Sheldon Bagri Howley, who is now on the mat. The marker's taking the jacket off now. Certainly nice warm conditions here. It's continuing to heat up at Carlton, Cornwall. The host club of these Summerset National Singles and Pairs. It's our final day today. 2 champions will be crowned here in the men's singles and also in the women's pairs.
Looking for the bowls or the jack is Sheldon Bagley Howley. Changed his hand.
Oh, unfortunate not to get anything there. It was not far away from either promoting his own or taking the jack into the ditch. Instead, finds the gap, gets nothing.
Andrew Kelly will certainly, as he endeavoured to do with that his third bowl, get past that short bowl of Andrew Kelly's on that backhand side to get back to the centre line and cut the shot options off, or reduce some of the shot options, I should say, for Sheldon Bagri Howley with his last bowl. So on its way is the Andrew Kelly bowl. And again, that's certainly on that wider line. How far back is this going to come? And this is heading quite a way back. Protection. I don't know if that was intentional. In fact, it's gone
in the ditch. So... yeah, you think with the weight that was played, he was trying to get some cover in there. Otherwise, it's quite a mistake. See, it's still a mistake because it's not in play now. It's in the ditch. So we'll see what Bagri Howley does this time. He was not far away at all with his previous. Will he try again? Just make a slight adjustment? Or will he play with more weight?
Of course, winner of the fours last year, part of the Gary Lawson winning side. And here is Bagri Howley now changing his hand, trying to get to the shot bowl, and gets the shot bowl.
Oh, very well executed. And that may turn it into 2 now to Bagri Howley. That one Kelly bowl was just sitting there. Certainly 1 to Bagri Howley. It is 2, the marker indicates. So another pressure bowl from the Gore player. And he now leads 13-10 to Sheldon Bagri Howley over Andrew Kelly, the defending champion in this first 221 men's singles quarter-final. And I will make my way around the 3 other boards and bring you an update of the 3 other men's singles quarters.
So the jack has been delivered by Sheldon Bagri Howley, and in fact went into the ditch, so we will now have it replayed, redelivered by Andrew Kelly. And Andrew Kelly playing on a shorter length. So here is the first bowl from Sheldon Bagley-Harley. Bagley-Harley leading 13-10 in the race to 21 in this men's Summerset National Bowls quarter-final as it comes back towards the centre line and will sit right on the centre line, about a couple of metres over, or a metre and a half over. So Andrew Kelly will certainly, on his forehand, want to certainly get his first bowl as close as he can to the jack. These players both very, very capable on the draw. In the green now, no sign of any water at all on it. Drying out well. Here's this Andrew Kelly bowl sitting jack level. It's a good opening bowl from Kelly. Bagley-Harley now quickly into his work. The Gore player on the forehand. Looks to be on the wider side as it breaks its way down towards the clubhouse.
Certainly is, as there's been quite a turnaround, at least one of the men's singles quarterfinals. Keanu Darby, who at last update, the North East Valley player, was leading Finbar McGuigan of Stokes Valley 10-8. It is now McGuigan leading 16-10. So he's got the last 8 shots in that quarterfinal. Riker Gregory, who's also come from behind, who was trailing 12-8, the Carlton Cornwall player, against his club teammate Rory Soden, is now up 15-13. And it is Mike Galloway who is leading Timothy Hook. Galloway of Royal Oak here in Auckland. Hook of Takaro in Manawatu. It's 12-10. All of those first two 21 men's singles quarterfinal contests. As that's a great bowl from Bagley-Harley, but unfortunate as he's disappointed the way that got the outside of the jack and knocked it towards those two Andrew Kelly bowls. Couldn't have done much more there, Bagley-Harley. Just unlucky.
Desperately unlucky. And of course, Michael Galloway played here in Auckland 20 years ago, singles final against Mike Kernahan at Onehunga. And of course, now playing out of what was the Onehunga club, now the Royal Oak club. And of course, that same year played in the final of the pairs as well. As we watch now, Andrew Kelly, who's changing his hand so as not to give a shoulder for Sheldon Bagley-Harley to get down towards the jack, but he might give a run header though. Just depends how that comes across on the line. I don't think Andrew Kelly would be happy with that. Because
yeah, he's not. Like, he's shaking his head. He's throwing around that towel of his. Not happy.
Because it certainly gives that line to the jack for Sheldon Bagley-Harley to play down to.
We'll see what Bagley-Harley does do here. He was unfortunate with his last. Can he use that Kelly bowl to assist him? He's winding up. Here comes the drive.
Weight. A lot of weight, in fact. Got the front bowl.
He's got one of them. Unfortunate again. Almost a replay of a few ends ago when he just got the front one clean out. Didn't disrupt the jack or the other bowls in the area. So I think Kelly, despite his last bowl not being where he wanted it to finish, was still good enough to count. So perhaps a chance to add a third here and to level up the scores once more.
So back to it favoured forehand side, and this has now got to come all the way back. This will come back far enough, has to get to that Sheldon Bagley-Harley bowl to count. And it's going to be on the wide side. Don't think it will.
If it falls in, maybe. And it was enough. It fell in. It's the third shot. So Andrew Kelly doing enough there. They don't need to measure. They can tell from the naked eye. Of course, from our angles, they can be very deceiving. And that clearly was the case there. So all tied up. 13 apiece. Sheldon Bagley-Harley, Andrew Kelly in this men's singles quarter-final. First to 21, of course, to go through to the semi-finals this afternoon. And we will have our final now because of the delays this morning. A bit later than originally scheduled. Late afternoon, early evening. But given the way all these men play, and no mucking around, it'll be all played at a quick pace. Expect to get through matches well before light becomes an issue. It's certainly the case if this weather stays as it is right now. It is beautiful once again here at Carlton, Cornwall. After a wet morning in the afternoon, the cloud has broken away, blue sky has returned, and so has the sun here in Auckland.
So Andrew Kelly with the score all locked up, 13 all. His bowl now breaks in towards that centre line and just sits outside the jab. A good opening bowl. Bagri Harley on his backhand. Race to 21. Ends don't count, of course. And how this bowl's running towards the jack. Just goes by the jack. Andrew Kelly now quickly on the mat. Current New Zealand blackjack has been selected for the World Bowls to lead in the fours and the triples. This bowl of Kelly's looks to be on a better line as it breaks now towards the jack. How's it going to get back to the centre line? Sits jack low, but in a good position. Bagri Howley now will come down on his backhand. Definitely 2 down in these early stages of this, the 15th end.
Well, all going well. We hope that the women's pairs final will start around 3 o'clock. And the men's singles final from 5:30. Approximately, of course, depending on how these matches go. If we finish the women's pairs final semi-finals, and we expect to, of course, both of those finals will be here on Sky Sport Next.
So here is Andrew Kelly holding 2. It's indicated by the marker. This bowl now coming back in towards that centre line. Needs to get past the Bagri Howley bowl, and will do, and sits right literally on the centre line, and that will count as well. Bagri Howley now, of course, who's played on the backhand to date on this end, may well elect to follow now the Andrew Kelly bowl on the forehand side, and that's exactly what he's doing. Try and reach up and sit on one of these counting bowls of Andrew Kelly's. It's on its way, but is it going to get underneath the centre line? It does. Oh, here's another big end, Brenton.
Yeah, another opportunity here. I think the marker has put up 3. Yes, there we go. 3 lollipops put up by our marker. The Carlton Cornwall club members here helping out on the greens. The many volunteers we have to thank for making these Summerset Nationals a reality here in Auckland across all 18 or 19 clubs, and those who have come from well outside those clubs. A couple coming from as far away as Hamilton to mark a couple of days ago. So thank you very much to all of you.
So here is now Andrew Kelly. He's going to the backhand side of the rink now. Doesn't want to fatten it up, or he's going for the insurance bowl now, going back to the 2 metre mark. Sheldon Bagri Harley coming up to have a look, and I look over now and I can see in that women's semi-final of the pairs, Sue Curran up against Val Smith, and it's Sue Curran leading now 6-3 over Val Smith.
Yeah, after 7 now of the 18 ends in that contest. I'll keep you up to date with those 2 women's pairs semi-finals. Sue Curran playing with Paula Kempthorne. St Helier's combination. Val Smith with Lisa Prideaux, as she was a couple of years ago here. So
here now is Sheldon Bagri Howley again on that forehand side, 3 down, all locked up, 13 apiece in this race to 21.
Oh, he doesn't like it.
Like this bowl, you could see as soon as he let it go, he gave the...
Yeah, so that'll be 3 more for Andrew Kelly. Back to back ends. So from 13-10 down, Andrew Kelly now leading 16-13. Big couple of ends for the Canterbury 2017 player. The defending champion, of course, does the attempts to go back-to-back in the men's singles. When was the last time that was done? Kevin Hicklin? Do you know off the top of your head? I will check the record book. Sorry to put you on the spot.
Ali Forsyth, Mike Kernahan.
Yeah, they did it both back-to-back, didn't they? Mike Kernahan, 2001, 2002. Ali Forsyth, 2003, 2004. Has not been done since. So it's no easy task to come through what was a huge draw. There was, I think, 330 odd players, I believe, in the men's singles draw. So to come through that a couple of times.
So we got that bit of history right.
You nailed it. You didn't tell me who was first, though, did you? So I'm going to mark you down for that. But you named the right players, and you didn't give me the years.
Well, Mike Kernahan.
No, that was very impressive, Kevin.
Was it only Hunger, of course? Then it would have been in Dunedin, I would say.
Correct.
And Ali Forsyth, one of those was in Wellington, and one was in Christchurch.
Yeah, nailed it.
And in the Christchurch one, beat Gary Lawson in the final of the singles there. So Andrew Kelly now 16-13 in the race to 21 after trailing only but a few ends ago, 13-10, but as Brendan said, consecutive threes has pushed Kelly out now to a 16-13.
Yeah, those are the only occurrences of back-to-back men's singles champions in the last 30 or 40 years.
I think a long time ago Phil Skoglin did it a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly right. But in the last 40 years, just those two occurrences, Mike Kernahan and Ali Forsyth, both start of this century. Kernahan first, then Ali Forsyth repeated it. Forsyth, of course, not here at these Summerset Nationals, a great supporter of this event, but just like Caitlin Inch, based in Australia, and you can understand be quite some sacrifice to play in this tournament for them, to do a couple of weeks in quarantine over Christmas.
Well, very much so.
To play in the tournament.
And of course the Queensland based players, which is Caitlin Inch and Krista Leave, they start in fact this weekend the Queensland Premier League, where Caitlin Inch will be playing this year for Kawana Thunder, and Krista Leave playing for Inogra in this very, very high class. It is the Brisbane Premier League. As we watch this bowl of Sheldon Bagri-Howley's, which is trying hard to get back to the centre line, and this is now becoming really important.
He's a bit perplexed, isn't he, Bagri-Howley, as to how he's suddenly lost his, not so his line, which, as you see those bowls, all on the centre line, but just his weight.
Of course, I know it's easier to say sitting here, but you go back onto the mat, you know you've got to play that line. The danger, of course, is that you just bring that line in a fraction too much, and of course then you'll go under the head. So it's a very precise line going down there. And Andrew Kelly now 16-13 and holding the shot again, and whether he'll go to the cover of the Bagri-Howley bowls, because you can draw down there and sit on that. You can see the mauve coloured stripe bowl. You can sit on that and still count and give some cover. So here is now Andrew Kelly playing his last bowl on that backhand side. Needs to get past the jack, won't want to touch it. And
he wanted to sit on those bowls, but not far away from doing that. Wanted to sit on that front one ideally, and that would have been another counter.
I think he was relieved that he hadn't touched the jack on the way through.
Yeah, once it got past the jack, then he was thinking, oh, this could be handy, but it didn't sit on that Bagri-Howley bowl.
So now you can see on the mat Sheldon Bagri-Howley just having to think before he plays this bowl on his forehand. Just gone on that wide side with his two previous bowls. This is definitely on a better line, this bowl. And is it going to go under the centre line that we spoke about, Brendan? Is it going to get all the way down? No, it's not.
So, made the correction there. But perhaps an overcorrection is 2 more for Andrew Kelly. So now he is potentially just the one end away from winning this men's singles quarter-final, 18-13. He now leads Sheldon Bagri-Howley in this race to 21 men's singles quarter-final. In the women's pairs semi-finals, it is Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra, last year's runners-up, who are leading Dale Rayner and Selena Smith 6-5 after 10 of the 18 ends. So that's a very tight contest. Singles picked up on all but one of the ends. 10 ends been played, only 11 been scored. And it's 7-3 in the other pairs semi-final. And that is in the favour of Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne of St Heliers over Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the 2019 champions. And then we have our men's singles quarterfinals on the other rinks. It is Finbar McGuigan leading 16-14, so a little comeback there from Keanu Darby. It was 16-10 at last report. McGuigan of Stokes Valley leading Darby of North East Valley 16-14. It is 18-15. Rory Soden leading Rika Gregory, so that's also changed. It was previously 13-15, now 18-15. Rory Soden leading his Carlton Cornwall clubmate Rika Gregory. And in the other quarterfinal, it is Mike Galloway, who is leading 15-12 over Timothy Hook of Takoro. Mike Galloway of Royal Oak. All of those matches, of course, first to 21, as is this contest here. And Andrew Kelly is closing in on a place in the final 4 as he attempts to go back to back.
Of course, Michael Galloway, in fact, started his bowls in the Manawatu 2, where, of course, he's playing another Manawatu 2 person now, and pretty famous family down there with the Galloways. As we see, this bowler, Sheldon Bagri-Howley's, just falls short. Holding shot, though, is Sheldon Bagri-Howley, sitting jack level. And we'll see now the third bowl being played by Andrew Kelly, leading 18-13, and he'll endeavour to just improve on his weight slightly and get down and sit on what is the shot bowl of Sheldon Bagri-Howley's on his backhand. A very smooth delivery that Andrew Kelly has got. Certainly this is on the wider side. How far is this going to come back? It's coming back towards the centre line now. Now is it going to hold on the draw? This is a great attempt by Kelly. And we'll wait to see what the marker says. Indicates that it is 1 still to Sheldon Bagri-Howley. Good attempt though from Andrew Kelly did draw the shot.
Bagri-Howley also on the backhand, asking a bit too much of that one.
So
starting it on the wide side, not coming back. So Bagri-Howley is holding shot as the marker indicated. 1 bowl each left in the set.
So is Andrew Kelly going to try and push the bowl under the head, the shot bowl, because if he was to push that bowl out, he'd be lying 3 shots.
And he would be holding game. Can he execute that? Is that what he looks for? Or does he look just to draw the shot to better his previous bowl? He wasn't far away previously. Looks like he's going with your option here.
On the backhand, trying to get to the bowl. Will he get the jack? Just going to go by.
He's going to get the gap.
The gap.
Gets the gap somehow. I thought he was going to get at least something on the jack, which wouldn't have actually been favourable if he got just the outside of the jack, but he comes up with nothing. He can't quite believe it, Andrew Kelly. So now Bagri-Howley, an opportunity to turn this into a couple. If he can beat Andrew Kelly's third bowl, holding shot.
That was certainly the shot that he was looking for, Brendan, wasn't it? To try and sit that bowl through the head, make 3 of it. Now, Sheldon Bagri-Howley, he'd be relieved that he didn't trail the jack.
Would have been quite some way to finish for Andrew Kelly after being 13-10 down to pick up 11 shots on just the 4 ends. Instead, it is going to be 1-2 Sheldon Bagri Howley, who stops that Andrew Kelly run. So 18-14 it is now. Men's singles quarter-final action here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs at the Carlton Cornwall Club in Auckland. As you can see, sunny, beautiful day now here after a very damp start.
And the ducks are fully marooned.
Yeah, they need saving actually.
They need the animal welfare people out there to do something for them. We don't want them to get any more water.
I think they need to be saved more so for the greenkeeper. James Williams' daughter won't be too happy, I think.
So here is now Sheldon Bagri Howley after Kelly has scored a 3, a 3 and a 2, and Bagri Howley scoring a 1 there. Be delighted to get back into the scoring, and he's wide with this first bowl. And Andrew Kelly, he'll certainly be endeavouring very quickly to capitalise on that opportunity and get as close as he can to the jack in this race to 21 in this quarter final. To be followed, we'll have the women's final will be our next round this afternoon, and then we'll bring, of course, the men's final, which will be late, early evening today, but we'll be bringing you all that live action. You watch this first bowl of Andrew Kelly's. It's going to go by. It's got a bit of weight on it. Sit there, you'll see it sitting down under that number 6.
So there's only a shot now between Finbar McGuigan and Keanu Darby in their quarter-final. McGuigan leading 16-15 now after leading 16-10 over Keanu Darby of North East Valley and Dunedin. Also just one shot apiece between the Carlton Cornwall club mates, Rory Soden and Rika Gregory. Soden leading 18-17 and Mike Galloway 17-12. A Royal Oak player leading Timothy Hook of Takaro. Those are the updates of the other greens, other rinks, where we have our men's singles quarterfinals played here on the B green at Carlton Cornwall.
So here's Andrew Kelly endeavouring to draw inside the Sheldon Bagri Howley bowl, and again just going to go by, coming back towards the centre line. You'll see that jack low bowl of Sheldon Bagri Howley's out to the right of the jack. That's the shot. Here is Bagri Howley now on his forehand. He's got the old hand going.
Oh, it's going to be pretty handy home.
It's a couple.
Found.
So Andrew Kelly asking where the two counting bowls, where they are in relation to the jack. Well, as you can see, they are just low of the jack, and Andrew Kelly will endeavour to just drop under those on that backhand draw. 18-14, 2 down on the head is Andrew Kelly. Watching this bowl as it's breaking down towards the head. This isn't going to have the weight. Goodness gracious, this is a changing game, isn't it? A great chance here for Sheldon Bagri Howley to
Well, certainly is.
hold 3, put the pressure on. Andrew Kelly with his last bowl.
Andrew Kelly, who's struggled to find his weight on this end.
I'm a bit surprised with those 2 bowls actually there, Brenton, that he's elected to stay on that hand. I thought he may well have changed to get on the other hand with his, completely unobstructed. As we watch this bowler, Sheldon Bagri Howley's, how's the weight on this as it breaks down towards the jack? He's going to miss out on the bonus, I think.
Or maybe not.
Maybe not. We'll
Hard to
see.
tell, of course, from our angle, but that could be third.
Just trying to see from here what the markers. Couldn't quite see how many lollipops that he put up there. But it's important here for the defending champion. 2 down, maybe 3 down on the head. And looks as though he's going to remain now on that backhand. Well, he's sort of committed to it because he's dropped shots. And there is Kelly now, and that backhand needs to get up to the 2 inside Sheldon Baggery Harley counting bowls. This is on a good line. How's the weight as if it breaks towards the head now?
Looks pretty
He's
good to me.
Do the job again.
He has stolen it from Sheldon Baggery Harley with his final bowl. This time Baggery Harley wasn't holding 4, but still a big moment in this game. Set of Baggery Harley cutting the deficit to 2, maybe only 1. It's Andrew Kelly who's now up by 5 and just 2 shots away from a place in the semi-finals. 19-14 it is now. Andrew Kelly of Canterbury 2017 club in Christchurch leading Baggery Harley of Gore.
So the jack's been delivered by Andrew Kelly, and it's a metre or so low of that 2 metre mark. And Andrew Kelly now playing up towards the Alexandra Park here at the Carlton Cornwall Club on the forehand. That smooth delivery of Andrew Kelly's that we've got so used to seeing. Because Brenton and I saw a lot of it last year, both of course in the Summerset Nationals and then in the Multi-Nations event in Australia. Trans-Tasmans as he draws just in behind the jack. A toucher from the defending champion. Leading 19-14 in this race to 21.
Bringing you up to date with the women's pairs semi-finals, which are also taking place here at Carlton Cornwall. It's now 8 apiece between Claire Hendra and Taylor Bruce, and Dale Rayner and Selena Smith. That's after 12 of the 18 ends, so 2/3 the way done there. And it is 7-4. Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne leading Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux after 9 of the 18 ends. And we have our first semi-finalist, and all I can tell you is it's a Carlton Cornwall player, because the score has gone from the board, so I'm unable to tell you if it was Rory Soden or Rika Gregory who took that one out, but both representing Carlton Cornwall. And we have our first semi-finalist. We'll endeavour to get you that score as soon as possible. Congratulations to one of those gentlemen.
And here's now Andrew Kelly holding the shot and changing his hand and trying to draw off that line to make it more harder, more difficult, of course, for Sheldon Baggery Harley. Holding the win right now is Andrew Kelly, and Sheldon Baggery Harley will endeavour to try and reach those 2 counting bowls. It's breaking towards the head now. Is it going to get back far enough or sit on the bowl? Gets a feather on what is the shot bowl. Sits outside the Andrew Kelly shot bowl. Asking the marker, am I holding 1 or 2 shots? And going back to his forehand draw is Kelly. Or no, on the backhand. I thought he'd gone to get another bowl on the head, but I think he'll be endeavouring to get down to this bowl of Sheldon Baggery Harley's down towards the 2 metre mark, and that's what Andrew Kelly is doing right there, because Sheldon Baggery Harley will certainly be endeavouring to get a touch on the jack. Kelly obviously holding the 2 for game.
Oh, he's taking a keen interest in this one. Baggery Harley knows he's running out of bowls to deny Andrew Kelly. This does not look far away. Slides through the gap somehow. Sheldon Baggery Harley can't believe it. He knew straight out of the hand that it was in the area. And look at him, in absolute disbelief. How has that not got the jack or one of the shot bowls?
It looked good all the way, didn't it? And it was certainly tracking for that jack now.
And you can tell with the white, how he looks as soon as he delivers. You can tell straight away from Sheldon Baggery Harley if it's in the area. He's got that feeling. You can tell with the weight and the green whether it's close after delivering it. It's very unfortunate there. He's only got 1 bowl left now as more cover comes in from Andrew Kelly as he looks to get amongst those 2 back bowls of Sheldon Baggery Harley. If Baggery Harley is able to trail the jack back, he could potentially turn it into 3.
So here is Sheldon Baggery Harley, 2 down on the head, trailing 19-14. Trying to get to the jack trail. It's under the line.
It's under the line. And that'll be matched. It's shake hands time. Andrew Kelly, the defending champion, is through to the semi-finals of the men's singles here at the Summerset National Singles and Pairs at Carlton Cornwall. 21-14, the final score. A very high quality contest, quite topsy-turvy. At times it looked like Sheldon Bagri-Howley might be running away with it, but from being 13 or 14-10 down,
Well, to me, Brendan,
he has come back to pick up, 13-10 down, 11 of the next 12 shots going his way. What a way to close it out.
Well, to me, Brendan, you never win a game around one bowl, but to me, the big bowl in this particular game was when Sheldon Bagri-Howley was leading 11-10, and he was holding 4 shots to take him to 15, and Andrew Kelly, last bowl in his hand, drew a toucher on that end there. Now, if you look at it from then on in, we only saw Sheldon Bagri-Howley score 3 shots in those resultant ends, and in between time, Andrew Kelly went from 10 to 21, and that brace of scoring 3-3, 3-2, and then a 1 to Bagri-Howley and a 1 and a 2 then to go out. And what happened, of course, Kelly dominated the draw then, dominated that first bowl, got back to the centre line, and that's why Andrew Kelly is the current New Zealand champion singles player, and it was a good exhibition out there, and he'd be delighted. I think it's interesting, at lunchtime he said to me, Kevin, we shouldn't even be here, we shouldn't be going out to Pukekohe to play in the indoor complex. I said, well, that's not going to happen, but he might be okay now that he's safely through to the semi-final. And he will play, of course, now.
Winner of Mike Galloway and Timothy Hook, which is currently, looks like it's 17-15. Mike Galloway of Royal Oak leading Timothy Hook of Tākoro in Manawa 2. And I will quickly shoot out, Kevin, if you can hold momentarily, so I can find out which Carlton Cornwall player has made it through. And we'll also give you an update of the Finbar McGuigan Keanu Derby quarterfinal and the women's semis before we do leave our coverage to get ready for the women's pairs final.
So, as Brendan rightly said, that we knew that was going to be certainly a high-quality singles encounter, and it certainly was. And it was going shot for shot early on in the game. And as I say, that 12th end whereby Sheldon Bagri-Howley was leading Andrew Kelly 11-10 and holding 4 shots on the head, a very, very good 4. And Andrew Kelly got his line, length, everything right, and drew a front toucher and took it to 11-10. And then, of course, the next end we saw Sheldon Bagri-Howley score a 2, and then a 3 and a 2 from the defending champion Andrew Kelly. A 1 then on the 17th end to Sheldon Bagri-Howley, and then a 1 and a 2 for Andrew Kelly to go out and take that quarter final by 21-14. And of course, as Brenton rightly said, we'll be bringing you women's pairs action shortly. But of course, our main concentration has been in this round of that of the men's singles, and we know that one of the quarterfinals is completed, the game between Rory Soden and Erika Gregory. That's I'm just trying to Brenton's finding out who the winner of that game was. Finbar McGuigan up against Keanu Derby, and that game, as we know, is very tight. That's Finbar McGuigan of the Stokes Valley Club in Wellington, and Keanu Derby of North East Valley in Dunedin. And the other game, of course, is the ex-Manawa 2 player, now, of course, at Royal Oak, Mike Galloway, a former New Zealand singles winner, up against Timothy Hook of Tākoro. And the last count there, it was Galloway that was in front in that quarter-final. So shortly we'll have the semi-finalists in the men's singles here at the Summerset Nationals, and then the final, we'll have the finalists as well in the women's pairs at the Summerset National Bowls.
Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. And we will be back shortly with that women's pairs final. Currently, it is Sue Curran and Paula Kempthorne who are leading 9-4 after 10 of the 18 ends over Val Smith and Lisa Prideaux, the 2019 winners. And it is 8 apiece between Taylor Bruce and Claire Hendra, last year's runners-up, and Dale Rayner and Selena Smith. Rayner, the 2017 winner, Smith, the defending champion. I can tell you it is Rory Soden who was the first player through to the men's singles semi-finals. He beat Riker Gregory, his Carlton Cornwall clubmate, 21-17. He awaits the winner of the other quarter-final between Finbar McGuigan of Stokes Valley and Keanu Derby of North East Valley. Keanu Derby now leading 17-16 over Finbar McGuigan after trailing 16-10 at our previous report And as mentioned earlier, there is Mike Galloway of Royal Oak, who is leading Timothy Hook of Takaro 17-15 in that men's singles quarter-final. So we'll leave it here at Carlton Cornwall Bowls and be back later this afternoon on Sky Sport Next with the final of the women's pairs.